I'm going to show you how to fix your LinkedIn profile so you can start getting more sales right now. LinkedIn is a powerful tool for insurance producers, but if you're not using it to its full potential, you're missing out. That's why I'm going to show you how to fix these 7 things on your LinkedIn profile so you can start generating more leads and sales. Number 1, headshot and banner. Now, I know that might seem obvious, but by the looks of it, there's a lot of you out there who don't quite get that, and that's okay. We're going to fix that right now. You've got to make sure that you have a professional headshot. Remember, folks, this is LinkedIn. First impressions count, and you need to make sure that whatever people are seeing really represents who you are. It's got to be eye-catching also, and it's got to show who you are and what you're about. I want you to take a look at an example. My man, James Jenkins, does a great job with his headshot. He obviously had this professionally done, and that's okay. It probably didn't cost a ton of money, but look at him. He really exudes who he is. He's got the fist pump. He's ready to go. He exudes energy. And his banner also, this is something I want to talk about. It talks about who he is and what he's about, literally saying he's the agency principal, he's risk manager, he's a podcast host, he's a keynote speaker. You don't have to scroll down any further. You already know a lot about who James Jenkins is and the type of personality he is. Look at all that energy right there. So make sure that you get a professional looking headshot. Number 2, descriptions and hashtags. These are important. It's the second thing that people notice when they're looking at your LinkedIn profile. I would encourage you to list your 2 biggest roles. Everybody has at least 2, even if you say,
well, I'm just a producer.
No, you might also be a father or a husband or a volunteer or whatever it is that you're doing, right? So make sure that you're listing at least 2 roles in your description. Describe what problem you solve and how you solve it, okay? So I want you to take a look at Ryan Hanley. He does a great job of this. In his description, he says, small business insurance is confusing, time-consuming, and costly. We solve these problems. Now, he's talking about we as in Rogue Risk, but that's who he's a part of. And if you look at his banner, again, it tells you exactly who he is and what he does and how they do it, in a sense. Small business insurance on autopilot. So he's obviously attracting small business owners, and he's done a very good job of being succinct in his description and what he's doing. Now, I said hashtags. How do you turn on hashtags? Because you're probably going around in your LinkedIn profile thinking like,
I don't know how to edit this.
By the way, if you come into your own profile and you click the little pencil, this is how you get to those sections where you can edit your headline. I would encourage you also to use emojis just because it makes it stand out a little bit. Going back to Ryan's example, the way that you enable this, you have to be in creator mode. And what I mean by that is if I scroll down here to resources, turn on creator mode. If you're the type of person who creates content on a regular basis, and we're going to cover that in just a second, you need to turn this on because it'll allow you to do live streams. It'll allow you to put hashtags in your description, which is really important for LinkedIn sending you traffic for people who match the hashtags or the things that they're interested and your hashtags represent that. So looking at Ryan's hashtags, he talks about insurance, insurtech, small business, commercial insurance, workers' compensation. These are things that he's trying to attract attention around, right? So use those hashtags for SEO purposes. This is also a great area for you to announce a free resource or a lead magnet, which is number 3, a lead magnet. So if you're not sure what I mean about a lead magnet, head over to YouTube if you're not already there and watch the video called How to Create a Lead Magnet That Converts Like Crazy. So basically, it's something that adds value and solves a problem for your niche, whoever or whatever that is. It could be a blog or LinkedIn post, a video or a video series. It could be a book. Let me show you an example of that. Steven Sedlak, who was on our show, wrote a work comp control effect book. He wrote it in about, I think, a month's time. He's basically given it away for free, and he's written well over $1 or $2 million in premium because of this book, okay? It's a free giveaway, and he lists it prominently in his banner. Now, I have listed mine. I have a lead magnet called Free Remote Agent Checklist, and I put that in my description. And when people click on that, it takes them to a landing page where they can opt in to my email list. But in return, they'll get a free remote agent checklist, which if they want to become a remote agent, it's a checklist of things that they need to do or prepare before they go remote. So a lead magnet is a great way to attract attention because you're adding value, you're giving something away before people even really start engaging with you. Other items, this could be a cheat sheet, a guide, an infographic, lots of different ways that you could go about creating a lead magnet. All right. Number 4, the featured section. This is where you're going to wow them. This is where you're going to draw people into your world and show off your expertise. It shows that you're confident and that you're able to solve their problems. Okay, so where's the featured section? If I go to Danny Kimball, she does a fantastic job. And look at that, she's got a lead magnet as part of her featured section. It's basically telling people, hey, here's how you opt in to get more information about marketing. She is really great with insurance agents, helping out with marketing. By the way, if you want to check her out, shameless plug for Danny Kimball. She's also been on the show. Fantastic person. If you don't have something to feature, create something. What I've done is, because I'm creating a lot of videos, I'm featuring those videos here. And you can see this is eye-catching. The colors pop, they're bright. They're interesting. You've got, dynamic things going on in the thumbnails here. But also, if you look at the titles, these are the people that I'm trying to attract. Producers, mainly, right, to work in my agency. By the way, if you're not happy where you are, go to southernstatesinsurance.com/careers and maybe change that today. Shameless plug. Here's the challenge I have for you. Record 3 videos answering a different question that you get often in each one of those videos, and then commit to posting those videos on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you are, and then feature them here on LinkedIn especially. You would be surprised how much traction that gives you. All right, number 5, volunteering. This is super important, folks. It shows that you're human. It shows that you're doing more than just insurance, because we all know how exciting insurance is, right? It shows that you care, and it might attract someone with a similar passion. If you're doing things locally and nationally, you need to feature that. A great example of that is my buddy Jason Cass. I'm sure you know him, you've heard of him. Look, he has things in his featured section too, by the way. But if I scroll down to volunteering, he does some good things. He's done some good things. And even though some of these things are in the past, that's okay. Still list them. Chairman for the National Young Agents, that's kind of a big deal. Chairman of City of Centralia, that's where he lives in Illinois. And group leader, Cuban leadership conferences. I didn't even know that about him. But see, this is a great way to showcase who you are outside of the walls of wherever you're working in your insurance agency, okay? People want to do business with people who show compassion and leadership. Make sure you showcase that. All right, number 6, recommendations, both given and received. Now, people tend to spam me on, what are they called? Skills. And sometimes there's things that I haven't done in years in my daily job, and people are still giving me recommendations or skills for things that I haven't done in a while. But recommendations are different. Let me show you what I mean. Justin Jaksha, he is down here in endorsements. By the way, ePay policy, that's where he works. Fantastic. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But look at this. Okay, yeah, I'm there at the top. I gave him one recently, but he's received recommendations and he's given Look at that, a total of 16. And they're not, like one-liners. He puts some thought into these, right? This is social proof. This is really important because people need to see, especially on the received end, who you are from other people's mouths, right? Because that's something you can't really fake. And what I would encourage you is get at least 3 recommendations to fill up this section, because that's what it shows before it has the collapsed version right there. So what I would do is right now, send emails to people that you know, like, and trust who are on LinkedIn and ask them to write you a recommendation. Better yet, pro tip, random act of kindness. How about instead of asking first before you receive, how about you give? Write a review for someone that you know who's on LinkedIn or a recommendation, and then send them a quick email or message, whatever it is, to let them know that you were just randomly thinking about them today and you wanted to make sure that they knew how good of a job they've done or what they've helped you with in the past. Don't ask for a review in return. That's key. I promise you, it will come back to you. Give first before you ask for anything in return. I talked about Justin with ePay Policy. By the way, if you guys aren't using them, they are the simplest solution for insurance agents to collect credit card and ACH payments. It's done a huge wonder in our agency for reducing our aged receivables collection time. It wows our customer every day because we're not asking them to send us a check. They just click on a link, enter in their information, and then we get paid faster. So there's a link in the description wherever you're consuming this. Check them out. All right, number 7, publications. If you've been in them, feature it. Now, I realize that there's a lot of people watching this or listening to this who might not have been featured in publications. That's okay. Here's some of the things I'm talking about, and I'll tell you how to maybe get featured in a publication. Number 1, blogs. Number 2, magazines or trade publications. Number 3, Chamber of Commerce write-ups. 4, podcasts. Things like this, things that the public would generally be able to consume in the public. All right, so here's the pro tip. Pick a topic to focus on, something that you know a lot about as a producer, whether that is from a sales perspective or maybe that's from an actual coverage perspective. Write a short article that solves a problem related to that topic. For example,
how I got unstuck and reignited my sales game.
I just kind of came up with that one, but that's a great idea for something that you could write. You can steal that, by the way. And then find 5 articles on similar topics from trade publications, and then send those authors messages, the people who wrote those articles, complimenting them on their work, on that article, and then let them know that you've written a piece and would be happy to let the publisher syndicate it for free. Authors and publishers are oftentimes looking for help because they can't keep up with the demand of creating content. So if you're out there offering it to people, and that's why I say offer it to maybe 5 people, maybe even 10, you'll probably get at least 1 or 2 that come back and say,
Actually, that would be great. That would be wonderful.
And it's an easy way for you to get featured in that publication, whether it's the magazines that are coming into your agency or whether it's, those same magazines in digital format or podcast or whatever it is. Check it out. Also, I have a podcast. This is a podcast. If you have something that's super interesting and exciting and you think that other insurance agents would benefit from it, hit me up. Let me know. I'd love to have you on the show and we can get you published and then you can put it on LinkedIn. All right, so what's next for you? Well, check out that video, how to create a lead magnet that converts like crazy on YouTube. And while you're on YouTube, check out the playlist I've created called LinkedIn for Insurance Agents, because that's going to be filled with other tips that I haven't covered here. Folks, if this was helpful, please share it with another insurance producer or someone in the insurance industry that you think could benefit from it. Like this, wherever you're watching it or listening to it, give me a comment or leave me a review, because I would love to engage with you and create more content based on what you think you would like to hear. Folks, until next time, grow big. or go home.